Conservative Party leader Pierre Poilievre has been speaking in Ottawa today. The event, dubbed Canada First, comes on Flag Day and the 60th anniversary of the first time the maple leaf flew on Parliament Hill, symbolizing a nation's pride and patriotism. Poilievre is hoping to seize on the tidal wave of patriotism generated by U.S. President Donald Trump's threats to impose tariffs and annex this country. CBC's Kate McKenna is at the Rogers Centre for us. Kate, that was quite a lengthy speech. He spoke for well over an hour, a really free-ranging speech in terms of his messaging. What stood out for you?
Well, it was a rally in the truest sense of the word. It was a wide-ranging speech, but I would say an overarching theme is that Pierre Poilievre was trying to position himself as the person best to not only counter Donald Trump's tariff threats, but also to build Canada, build its economy, make it a stronger country. He started off his speech addressing what is happening between the United States and Canada, but also saying that it's actually conservative ideas that are the best ideas going forward to deal with this threat. Take a listen.
In fact, the Trump tariff threats have proven conservatives right on everything. It's true. Everyone now admits, or they claim to admit, that conservatives were right on the Liberal capital gains tax hike, that conservatives were right on the carbon tax, on pipelines, on LNG, on fentanyl, the borders, immigration, and the need to celebrate rather than cancel our proud history and country.
This was a big event. There were about 1,000 people in the room as well. There was an overflow room just outside of where we are in downtown Ottawa. We know that people were bussed in. I spoke with some people who drove in saying that for them it's important to come out and support Pierre Poilievre. And this is a time where the polls, we were beginning to see a little bit of movement in the polls following Donald Trump taking office and making these threats against Canada. And here we saw a very fulsome response from Pierre Poilievre on that issue, going into what's likely to be an election in the next couple of months.
Kate, he did end up talking about his political rivals here at home. He actually doubled down on the importance of the Liberal-introduced carbon tax, but he did speak at length about the challenges posed by Donald Trump as well. How is he proposing to handle the Trump administration?
Well, he says that if Donald Trump does go ahead with a blanket tariff on Canadian goods in early March, then Canada needs to respond strongly, show them our strength, show them our leverage. Dollar-for-dollar tariffs, retaliatory tariffs is what he proposed. But he also proposed a sort of diplomatic mission as well, trying to convince Americans that actually this is going to make life more expensive for both countries. It's going to make life harder for workers in both countries. Now, those two messages are sort of similar to what we've seen from the Liberals on this issue. But he also outlined a number of other things that he would do to increase Canada's nationalism at home. For instance, having more people and more students going into French immersion, growing the cadet program and the Rangers program in the North. Take a listen to what he had to say.
You have your agreements with us. We have ours with you. But I would ask you this question. Which other country would you rather have as your neighbor? And if Canada is not your friend, who is?
Of course, Donald Trump has doubled down repeatedly, saying that he wants to put some sort of tariffs on Canada, if not the blanket 25%, then tariffs on steel and aluminum that are set to take effect in mid-March. He's saying things about tariffs nearly every day, but Pierre Poilievre also suggested or floated the idea of working more closely with the Americans, if they're amenable to that, increasing trade between both countries in an effort to make both countries richer.
Kate, thank you so much for that.